We're back. We are back in front of the camera. Let me tell you something. It has been a little over 10 months since my last video. That's wild. It's wild to me. But we're back in front of the camera. I'm excited to talk to everyone about what's been going on, about where I've been, what I've been doing, how these radical changes and developments have taken place in my life, and I'm excited to share that with you. So, with that being said, I'd like to thank you all for being here. This is technically episode 3 of Art Mirror, and I'll go a little bit into that, but Art Mirror is the title for this series, which I have. Art Mirror is what I use to reflect on my life and my experiences through an artistic lens and distill those down into lessons that hopefully it's my hope, of course, that people can walk away with insights and things to build into their own lives. And that's really the purpose of it. So um, excited to get right into it. And at the very beginning, I would like to say thank you. I've learned how important it is to express gratitude in my day-to-day life, and I'm always trying to practice that and put it into practice and continue to do it and fully cement it. So with that being said, I have thank yous written down in my journal here. First, I'd like to start off by saying thank you to my mom and my dad for being the wonderful, most loving and supportive parents. I love you. You both, I tell you every day, and I'm so blessed and thankful that you're my parents. So with that being said, thank you, Mom, Dad, Anna, Kirsten, Nancy, Michael, Ro, Natalie, Shelby, Deshaun, Devin and Tori, Sydney, Sam, Alex, Minot, Danielle, Jean, Paul, Jesus, Derek, Noah, Jonathan, Lyndon, Viper, Anari, Jack, and DK, Alante, Jeremy, Cody, and Abigail. I just want to say thank you so much. The conversations, bouncing ideas off of each other, support, encouragement, kindness, love, positivity, all those things directly go right in here, and I just use all of it and I try to pour back into you all as well with that exact same fervor, but I pour into it with my work and I pour it into my passion, and it really creates everything that you see in front of you. It makes it all possible. Without your support, without that love, I wouldn't be anything of what I am. So I just wanted to say thank you so much again, and let's jump into the episode. So where have I been? Where have I been? It's been 10 months. I think if I had to guess, when I was here last time, I don't even think I had dressers next to my bed. I don't know if the paintings were hung up too, because so I have, paintings from previous shows. I've got them. I like to have them in my space. I think it's really cool to decorate your space with your own work. Especially what I've learned is, and it's a little bit of a trick and a secret, but for all my artists out there, you can, and not necessarily artists, writers, anything that you do, you can place an intention in the things that you do. And if you place them in your space with pure intentions, you can permeate your space with that intention, carry it forward, and it really does create this atmosphere of peace and serenity and this harmony. So with that, I'm really excited. You might see I've got a slideshow going. This is actually my website. We're going to dive a little bit more into that. I'm excited to share it. But the thing that I'm looking forward to sharing with you the most is we recently, and I'm going to be controlling the computer a little bit over here. So if you see me going back and forth, that's why. But excited to tell you, I recently just had an art show. It would have been 2 weeks ago now, June 10th and 11th, Saturday and Sunday at Art Hop, and it was a miracle to be a part of. Absolutely incredible experience. To everyone that came out that day, it just blew my mind. The support, the conversations, hearing what people had to say about my work, and I'm going to be flipping through here a little bit, so I might get lost, but it is what it is. So it started off, made my own flyers. I make my own flyers for each show. This year I had a different theme to the flyers. It was a different vibe entirely, and a lot of people really, really enjoyed them. So I actually printed off, like I got some special flyers made with like nice like cardstock and everything, and I gave them to, you know, people that are VIPs in my life, friends, family, people that like I love and support me and that I just wanted to see there. So if you got one of these flyers, just know you're really special. I cherish you, and I was really excited making them because I was excited thinking about who I was going to give them to. So that was that. It was awesome. Now, something I remember though, I forgot to put the address on the flyers. I made them the day before I knew the address of where I'd be at the show. So next time the address will be on there. So it's a learning process, right? You are always learning. As an artist, you have to be your own businessman and marketer and promoter and logistics person, and you've got to do your own inventory. So yeah, there's a lot, but we learn every time, and every time we get better. So next time, the address will most likely be on there. You can hold me to that, I promise. So going right ahead, these were the other artists that I was at my stop with. We were at stop number 5 at 502 Soul. From my left, or I guess from, you know, looking at our left, the person right beside me, her name is Kirsten Elling. She's actually a colleague of mine, a colleague and a friend of mine. She's the one who introduced me to Art Hop, and this is her beautiful home that she hosts the venue out of. It's wonderful. I've got some of her work here too. Nancy, who's right beside her, it's really cool. Nancy and Kirsten are childhood friends, and although paths might change and like people might diverge on a path, they come together and they get to celebrate their art practice and, you know, have that joy and bring it together for this, which is really incredible. And then on the far right, her name's Anna Strong, a wonderful artist, a good friend of mine, and a little bit more about her coming up. But this was our combined setup. So we were under a canopy, and it actually rained on Sunday a little bit towards the end, and the artwork was protected. It was still wonderful under the canopy, all of our work in one place. And it was so awesome to see the way our work blended together. You know, we have really different styles. Anna does a lot of abstract, geometrical, colorful pieces, where I focus more on like portraiture and like single subjects. But seeing our work next to each other had this really like it came together in a wonderful way, and it was something that was really, really just joyous. So Anna and I met after my first Art Hop, which would have been last year, I believe, last year in November, maybe, I believe it was November, maybe a little bit earlier. But last year in November, my first Art Hop, we got connected through social media. And from there, it comes full circle in a way, because Art Hop was the thing that connected us in the beginning. And we also got to come together and actually do a combined show. And there's so much more I can say. Actually, today, as of recording this, it's June 24th, 2023. Anna is at something called DIY Ipsy, which is kind of like an arts and crafts farmers market, if I had to say. So Anna, if you see this, all the best to you. I hope the show is going wonderfully. I'm going to stop by and check it out tomorrow, so I'm really excited about that. Moving ahead, these are some detailed shots that I took of like my own work at the panels, and it was just seeing it all come together was a miracle. It was amazing. It was everything. It was more than I could have asked for. And these are some shots of Kirsten's work. She decorated inside of her sunroom. She's got wonderful ceramics and, you know, small knickknacks and paintings and cards and letters for people, and it's just really, really beautiful. She does this work on acrylic and wax, and it's colorful, it's vibrant, it's really amazing. I had some detailed shots of Anna's too, you know. Anna's got these wonderful stickers. A lot of people love her smoking animals, me included. Okay, so I tried to include as many pictures of the people that came to support me as possible, and I have a quick story for you on this one. So Sydney, that's my twin sister. Now, I'm going to give you a second, because I know it may not look like it, but that's my twin sister. So Sydney and I met in college. She went to MSU, I went to University of Michigan, already at odds, but what we found out was, through speaking, communicating with one another, Sydney and I were born on the same day, in the same town, in the same hospital, an hour apart. So she's my older sister by an hour, or roughly an hour, and you know, we could have been in the rooms immediately next to each other, or in the neonatal unit, you know, where they have all the babies in the nursery. She and I could have been right next to each other at the same time, and we probably were. So it's really fun. I got to, you know, meet my twin sister later in life, which is really awesome. She came to me. She's also a wonderful artist herself. She does architecture as well. Her and I are going to collaborate on something really soon. And it was, Sydney, it was wonderful to have you there, and also have Garrett there and meet Garrett there for the first time. So this is, I can't do a story for everyone, but this is my great friend Alante. Alante is always, you know, a creative powerhouse. It's always fun to see him and have him come up. And he just moved back from Arizona a little bit ago to pursue different opportunities. So he and I are going to be working on something together soon, and it's just awesome. So, okay, now you're going to see in this like slideshow some flexing pictures. So everyone from the gym, we are in an incredibly supportive community. We go to Crunch Ipsy. Shout out to the Crunch Ipsy gang. Everyone that you see, the real flex is being surrounded by people that pour into you and that you can pour back into. It's a supportive, it's engaging, it's an encouraging, and it's an uplifting community. So all the people from the gym that came to support me on show day, when I kind of metaphorically stepped up on stage as a, you know, kind of like a bodybuilding term, everyone was there and we all got that flexing picture together. So Shelby, Rowe, Michael, awesome to have you there. And then Cody and Fuku, awesome to see you there as well. Like, okay, this one is hilarious. So I still want to know what I was telling her so aggressively with that hand. Now, she came up and told me, I remember the conversation, she told me that she had just recently started doing portrait art herself, and she said my work was magnetic to her because of all the portraiture. So whatever I was trying to let her know at that time, whatever point I was making, I think she received it. That's my hope, that whatever I was telling her was helpful, because I know with that hand that she got it at that time. That's all I gotta say. So moving on, man, Devin and Tori, it's wonderful to meet you. Devin's also someone that I met at the gym, someone who's doing incredible things. He introduced me to his fiance, Tori. They got engaged in early January, and they're just absolutely just people I cherish. Love them. Their relationship is beautiful, and it's a joy to witness, honestly. Seeing a relationship like that is truly incredible and really inspiring, and that's a real victory right there. So Devin, Tori, I love you. Devin, you already know you're my bro. That's just how it goes. So got you. More flexing pics, friends from the gym, fellow artists as well. You gotta love it. So another flexing pic, Alex, my brother, positive, engaging, supportive, encouraging, always going hard, always working. It's incredible to see. So happy you got to connect through the gym, because it's awesome. So, okay, for this is Deshaun. Now, for people that know us and have seen us together, there's a running joke that I'm going to let y'all be aware of. Deshaun and I get confused for twins very, very often. We have a running joke that we should like start a tally for everyone, and it would be at least 15 or 20 people that come up to us on a daily basis and say, are y'all related? Are y'all twins? So we're not actually twins, but that's Big Bro. He's a year older than me. That's Big Bro essentially. We love to play into it, and it even happens outside of the gym. So it's hilarious to us. Man, this is my my oldest childhood friend. This is Noah Baker. Actually, I've got his book here too. Noah is a writer and a poet. Check out his book on Amazon. It could have been so easy. It really could have been so easy. Noah's a wonderful, and I believe at one point in time, I might be wrong, it was either in the top 5 or top 10 on Amazon for bestsellers when it came out. So it could have been so easy by Noah Baker. He got married last year. He's a wonderful husband, great writer, great friend. And I got the honor of being the best man at his wedding. So for him to come and drive up from Ohio to see me at my art show was really special and really impactful. So, and finally, this is guest book, special thing. I do it at every art show, but I have the people that are special and meaningful for me. I have them come and I have them sign this book, because I'm going to remember this for the rest of my life. So this is just for everyone whose name is in here, just know that I'm going to have that with me forever. And yeah, at that point, like, shoot. So aside from the art, art and all that art has done for me, and take it everywhere it's taken me, I've also been hard at work in the gym. We've been building up our body, working hard day in and day out, and we hit my first, I'm gonna let the video speak for itself, but I got my first 300-pound squat. It's my highest PR of all time. Working to build my legs up, because for anyone who knows me, I got some long legs. So working to build my legs up, my first 300-pound squat. I was really, really proud of it. And yeah, we're just going to make it happen. Now, there's something important that I want to say here. And as I've been building up my body, and through the process, you develop all these traits, consistency, focus, discipline, drive, all those things, intensity. I want to be clear with something, and this is something that I really, really believe, and hopefully it resonates with someone, but you should always allow internal changes to reflect on the outside and never the other way around. Really let the work that you do on the inside show on the outside, rather than trying to lead with what's on the outside and try to make that facade for what's on the inside. If you allow the internal changes to be the driver for what's on the exterior, it will just, I don't quite know how to hammer that home, but let those internal changes be the driver for external change, because you can't mask if there's ugliness, or if there's hurt or pain, you can't mask that from the outside. It's always going to shine. It's always going to show through the cracks. It's fool's gold essentially. Always let internal changes really be the driver for external change, and people will see the work that you do internally on the outside. It'll be in your appearance, it'll be in your hygiene, it'll be in your attitude, it'll be in the way you speak, the way you talk to people. Let those internal changes shine through, please. And that's I don't want to talk, I never want to talk at you, but that's something I really believe. It's something I've seen. It's transformed my life. Let internal changes lead the way. So with that, I've also been big on photography. I've been developing my passion for photography more and more. I've got my camera here. This is the Nikon Z50. It is a digital mirrorless camera, and it's got 250 millimeters zoom. I got a wide angle lens as well. This was a gift from my father. I bought a Canon earlier. I believe it was a MK50 Mark II, and my parents being on Nikon as well, we thought it would be best for me to be on Nikon, so that way we can interchange gear and everything. Just being in the same ecosystem. It's kind of like a family that only has Apple products. Not to make this a war about Apple or Android or anything, because that's completely irrelevant. But, being within the same ecosystem can potentially help if you're swapping compatibility and stuff like that. So, developing the passion for oh, wait. All right. I had to capture the moment, So have really been developing my eye for photography, and photography's got a great relationship with art and painting. Essentially, they inform one another. As I grow and develop my eye for lighting and shadow and photography, it's also a one-to-one process, as if anytime I take a picture, I superimpose a painting onto the picture as if I was just painting it. So it's a great process there, and something that I want to talk about in terms of photography. It's similar in terms of art, because there's so much overlap, and photography is an art form for sure. Going out into nature allows you to slow down and get away from all the noise of day-to-day life that follows you. It's a really, really incredible opportunity. I highly recommend anyone, but first and foremost, or more importantly, above all, when you take time, when you see something beautiful and you actually take the time to stop, it helps cultivate and develop your relationship with the things that you find beautiful. And that's powerful. In day-to-day life, we can get so busy, rushing, and I make it a habit, and I say this all the time, I'm never in any rush. Rushing is the enemy. Do not rush for the things that you need to do. You have time. Be wise the way you spend it, but you have time. Don't rush. Allow yourself to slow down for the things that grab your attention and fascination. Really, really The things that fascinate you, they deserve some of your time. They really do. So take a moment, slow down, and when you either look through the eye, like the eye of a camera, you're creating and developing the relationship with the things that you find beautiful, and that act in of itself is a beautiful act. So take a moment, slow down, breathe, and just keep a moment just for you. So with that being said, gonna move on. Here are some other pictures. I love light, the way light interacts with nature and the things that are around us are just really, really powerful for me. And love color. Photography is really good for me to explore color. And hey, remember to play a lot. Remember to play a lot. When I saw this, that was the first thing I saw. I didn't even see the words play a lot. I just saw play a lot. Play a lot. Don't stop playing. Be playful, be whimsical, be joyful. Play a lot. And so this one's pretty cool. I took this picture and I actually ended up making my own business cards out of them. So what's really cool is your boy has got business cards. So, I mean, I got business cards. That's really all I've got to say about that. I've got business cards. If you want a business card, let me know, and I'll give you a business card. Recently, earlier this month, weekend of June 4th, June's been a busy month, but my family and I went down to Florida for my mom's birthday, and we did a wildlife, kind of like wildlife expedition, the Circle B Bar in Florida, and these are some of the shots from there. You'll see like my dad and I just doing our thing. It's been amazing to connect with him in this way. As we develop our relationship together and bolster our relationship together, what I've learned is not only in a metaphorical sense do I have his body, but I was also gifted his eyes. So we see the world through a similar lens. No pun intended, actually. We see the world through a similar lens, and that artistic eye that he has was given to me, so passed down to me, and it's a blessing and a gift, and it's something that I really care to cultivate. So we are cultivating that together, and we've got exciting things coming in the future for sure. I love you, Dad. Okay, this guy is awesome. He looks like he's trying to sell me something, if we're being real. That little rock that's right there, the baby crocodile, or baby alligator, excuse me. He's trying to sell me. He's shifty. You gotta watch out for them. And another picture of Dad and I. Now this was really cool. I saw an alligator, actually the whole thing, and I've got more of the pictures too, but catch a huge fish, definitely bigger than its head, and it just had it and like carried it away in the water. It was so, I mean, it was visceral, but it was magnificent to see. How often do you see something like that in real time? And I was able to capture that moment. It was really powerful for me, so I love that shot. But this is one of my favorites from here because you get to see all of the, it's intense. And yeah, so there's always, despite the art and working out and, you know, day in and day out and like cultivating my photography as a passion, I've also really been enjoying my work. So people may not know this about me, but I'm a professional event coordinator. I work for the University of Michigan, and I'm a special events coordinator, so I do like large ceremonies and symposiums and receptions and, you know, things like that. And we did a ceremony in April, and it was so wonderful. It was the most beautiful venue that I've ever done, and it was a huge success. And recently, it would have been yesterday, June 23rd, we actually had an award ceremony for the year to honor and commemorate all of the wonderful contributions of our teams across Rackham. And I walked away with the Spirit of Rackham Award, and it was called Ray of Sunshine. So, you know, I'm extremely honored and humbled, and I'm blessed to be in an environment where I can freely express myself and be creative and allow, it's so encouraging and uplifting and really, really empowering. So, and a lot of that actually feeds back into my work as well. The good energy and the vibes from work definitely permeate the artwork that I do. It's all a reciprocal process. It pours into each other. So with that being said, that's kind of like the end of the slideshow. I did want to show let's see here, but I wanted to show the website as well. So the website, my baby, Brian Pollard Creative Studios, it's brianpollardart.com. I'll put a link in the description, and I just want to show you around a little bit. It started off in its infancy, and it's developed on its own, and it's got its own personality now. So on the home screen, you've got some like the rotating images from my gallery. There's an about section if you ever want to see anything or learn about me and my story, that's there for you. I've got a gallery, so these are most of the pictures that were shown at the art show, and there's some writing and flavor text about those if you're ever curious about what was going on there. I've got some sketches and studies. I call this the playground, a rotating collection of fun stuff and exploration. And this is just, so with any body of work, it's kind of like a glacier. You see the top 5 or 10%, and then everything underneath the 90% you really don't see. And it's not necessarily that, I think they're bad. I love to do this work. It's just some of the sketches, some of the studies, some of the explorations that really informs the work that I do. I love figure drawing. I love exploring the body. So you'll see a lot of figures. You'll see a lot of weightlifting poses and everything like that. Characters that I've drawn. And it's just really fun. So just a fun place to hang out. And I do have some of the photography there myself. Some of their photography section. So got an egret here. Got this cute turtle that I saw posted up on a log, and got some colorful imagery. Love nature, of course. In November, went to Spain, got to see a beautiful castle, learn history, just enrich myself in culture. Went up north to Petoskey, got this awesome picture at the end of fall, red bell tower, red trees. It was beautiful. I'm still if you might be able to hear it in my voice, but I'm amped up about it. It's so wonderful. And I do have a store where I sell some of my work, and actually I want to I'll chill on the photography page for a second, but there is, I can do this. Let's see. So here's some of the paintings that I actually have from the gallery itself. Flame Tiger, one of my favorites. And got Evergreen, just if anyone ever wanted to see what they were like physically, of course, because seeing them physically is much different than seeing them through, on a screen. Got this small-headed tree frog, really starved the show. A lot of people loved him at the gallery, and I love him too. He's wonderful. So, and then, yeah, it was a joy. And actually, I gotta show you something cool. I gotta show you something really cool. I'm a Jedi. I'm a warrior for peace, but a warrior still. And I fight every day. I fight for peace, but I do fight every day. So, just remember. And actually, not only am I a Jedi, but I've got Thor's hammer. Like I said, I'm a warrior for peace, but I am a warrior, and I fight every day. Remember that. Okay, but all jokes aside, that's the website. Just wanted to show everybody what I've been working on and everything, what I've been developing. So check it out if you feel so inclined. There's some fun stuff there. It's always evolving, and it should be. It's as you evolve, so should the things that are around you. They should evolve as well. Your space, your relationships, just constantly evolving, right? So I'm going to transition over to something else now, and this is a recent painting that I just finished. It's called Man of Fire. So this is going to be the segue into a little bit of a speaking portion that I like to include during these art mirror videos. I frequently get asked a lot, how do you balance all of the things that you're working on? You're doing art daily, you're working out daily, your photography, you're going on walks, you're making time you're talking to your friends, talking to your family. How do you possibly sustain all that? And this painting is a little bit of an answer to that question. It's a painting that really kind of originates from the spirit. So I want to talk a bit about the nature of passion, or what I've gleaned from the nature of passion. So, passion is extremely unique in that passion, there's something that I wrote a long time ago, and I've got it here, and it says, passion fuels passion. Passion radiates upon itself as if it was its own sun. Passion is what allows things to be infinitely sustainable, but there's a caveat, there's a trick to that. Now, I'm fully aware that passion is it's not easy to find, especially, I would say, especially now. I don't want to say, I actually hate the term in our society, because I don't think that's true. I think you can make time for the things that you prioritize. However, we're not taught what breeds passion, or we're not taught what gives way to passion. And maybe it might be impossible to teach, but actually I disagree. I don't believe that at all. I think it could be possible to teach. I was blessed and I was fortunate, and it was a miracle for me because I stumbled into my passion, or it found me. I started drawing by accident, and as soon as it did, I knew that I would never love anything more. And 3 years later, here I am surrounded by paintings that I've done. So it's been a blessed and miraculous journey for me. But passion, there's something that I've learned in that passion creates the way for things to be infinitely sustainable. And what do I mean by that? So the passion that I have for art is the passion that I pour into with photography, and it's the passion that I pour into with my writing. And all of those things allow me to take that passion and transmute it and actually apply that passion to life. So essentially, I'm using passion to fuel passions, but they're in another sector. So if I were to try to just paint, which is something I'm wildly passionate about, of course, if I was to try to just paint, I would never be able to sustain that for the period for the period or in seasons that I do. I don't believe in art block. There was a time where I would get art blocked, and now I don't believe in it, because I've started to understand and I've learned that you can use your passion to circumvent burnout. And I say circumvent, which is truly applicable for what it is. The process of circumvention is the way you dissipate heat. So as you're passionate about something, it's a very heat-inducing process. That's why this is titled Man of Fire. And as you get passionate, you can use that passion to apply to different areas of your life. And as you do that, spread the love, spread the wealth, spread the joy. Allow your passion to spread across different areas, and then allow the areas that you pour the passion into to, I would say, pour back into you. So if I take my passion and I spread it to my artwork, it's like planting seeds that you can harvest at some point in time, and that will inevitably pour back into you with opportunities, with abundance, with joy. And joy is a product of gratitude. So be grateful in what you do as well, and that is the path to joy, or a path to joy, or something that I truly believe. But passion is what allows me to do these things and have them be infinitely sustainable and joyous and grateful in the process. So I did want to touch a little bit on that. That is Man of Fire. Now, something that I do want to do is I'll play a little bit of the video in the background of like the Man of Fire. I know some people are curious about the process. Now, I'm not going to have the entire thing play out, because at this point in time, I don't want the video to go on for too long. I'm going to try to stop it at 40 minutes if I had to guess. But something that I do want to talk about as I let this play in the background, and I will post a shortened version of the video on Instagram as a reel for anybody who's interested in that process. It was extremely fun to work on. It was a new season started for me in my life, and this was the first painting of the season. and it allowed me to be expressive and a little bit chaotic, and bring that chaos and turn it into something beautiful and refined, and it really does come from the spirit. So the next thing I want to talk about, actually I want to ask you a question, and the question is, what do you think is more valuable, your attention or your time? And I'm going to let you have a couple seconds to think about that, maybe 5 seconds. Okay, so do you have your answer? What's more important, attention or your time? Now, time is something that you're always going to spend. You're always going to have to spend it. But ultimately, you decide where your time is spent. Now, attention is a little bit trickier. See, things grab our attention subconsciously. And there are always things that are vying for your attention. Depending on what I use for a thumbnail of this YouTube video, I will also be vying for your attention in that way, but not in a malicious way, hopefully to share good things with you. However, there are always going to be things that are vying for your attention, distractions, things that really maybe ultimately don't matter. You know, you have to spend your time. Now, there are things that you should prioritize that you'll have to spend your time on. You'll have to spend your time on working to make a living so you can, you know, pay your way or have a certain level of comfort that you need, but you'll have to set time aside to nurture your relationships, and you'll have to set time aside for your hygiene and to maintain your space and to maintain your relationships and maintain your physical health and maintain your financial well-being and maintain your spiritual health. And I highly prioritize spending time to maintain those things, but ultimately you do decide how you spend your time. With attention, it's a little trickier, like I said. You have to carefully observe where your attention goes, because your attention can be controlled without you actually knowing it. You can subconsciously be attending to things, and monitoring your attention is extremely important, because what you attend to is also what you're consuming. So just be aware of what you consume, because what you consume, in the same way a social media, like what's on your social media, is called a feed. It's a feed because it's something that you consume, and everything that you consume gets regurgitated in some way, shape, or form. And that is something that I truly believe. Everything that you consume, the music you listen to, the people that you surround yourself with, the words that you hear, the words that you tell yourself, the words that we tell ourselves, everything that you consume in some way, shape, or form, even what you look at visibly, it does regurgitate itself, and it will manifest itself in your life in some way. So be careful. In my opinion, well, I'm not going to say my opinion, this is a belief of mine, and I'll share that with you. I believe that your attention is far more valuable than your time, because time is always going to be spent, but your attention dictates what your mind is fixated and fascinated on. And it takes time to train your attention. To be in control of your attention is it's valuable. It's proved extremely valuable in my life, and you have to be disciplined in order to attend to and prioritize the things that you attend to. There used to be a time where I would run away from the things that I knew that I must do, that I knew needed my attention, and anytime I did that, it was just creating something that was going to be a problem, a much bigger problem later down the line. So always be aware of what you're attending to, and really focus on attending to the things that bring you joy and fulfillment, and hopefully in doing so it'll become easier to filter out the things that are distractions and don't matter versus the things that do matter and move you forward and create better relationships. Now, I think this will be the last thing I touch on. I don't want the video to be too long, but there's also the value and what I've learned in creating and building sustainable, healthy relationships and communities. So in community, it kind of goes into the attention conversation with the communities that you make. Communities are a good way to focus your attention for you. So what do I mean by that? I go to the gym almost daily, maybe one rest day a week, even though it's always the most painful day of the week because I love going to the gym. But when I go to the gym, it's a community that is always centered around self-development, growth, pushing yourself, discipline, focus, intensity. And with that, that's what your attention is on when you're there. So it's not necessarily something that I have to do myself, because the people surrounding me are also making it that much easier for me to place my attention on those things. Now, let's say you're in a community, and it can be a community, it can be your family, it can be your friends, it can be a place of worship, it can be, a church, it can be a group that you form a hobby around. But if the people in that community that you surround yourself with, if their attention is on things that don't align with your values, or their attention is on things that don't sit well with you, or don't sit well with your spirit, or you find distractions, that community is actually making your attention and focusing your attention for you without even realizing. I'd hope that it'd be realized, but that attention is the thing that's focusing and magnifying the distractions and what might be taking away from other areas in your life that you really want to develop. So it's so important to find communities of well-being that bolster you as a person, that align with your values, that allow you to move forward with a sense of purpose and responsibility and passion, put passion into your life, and that are encouraging and supportive and uplifting. You find communities where you can thrive in, and then pour back into those communities with the exact same fervor. Pour into the communities that allow you to thrive with everything that they have poured into you. And that is the key that I've found in creating relationships that are infinitely sustainable and that are joyous and uplifting and fulfilling. And when I say relationships, I don't necessarily, of course it applies to romantic relationships, right? But it's relationships with yourself, it's relationships with your body, it's relationships with your health, it's relationships with your finances, it's relationships with your family, it's relationships with your peers, your friends, your colleagues, it's relationships with where you go, it's relationships with your actions, it's relationships with your responsibilities. It's your relationships with the things around you, and those things are ideas and concepts. It's beyond just relationships which are one person to one person. So with that being said, I think all has been said. I don't know if I can realistically go any further from there. I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who has poured into me, and I hope and I strive and I pray and I do all these things because I want to pour back into you all with the exact same intensity and that exact same love. So now I'm not going to promise that it won't be 10 months until my next video, or I'm not going to promise that I'm going to have a video next week, because I don't believe that's true. But I think that they're going to be slightly more frequent, and I think I'm going to invest in a better mic, maybe a different type of setup. But I just want to say thank you ultimately. Hopefully you'll be hearing from me soon. To everyone that makes this so sustainable and joyous and fulfilling for me, I love you. I cherish you. I'm so blessed to be surrounded by incredible people, and that's it. That's all I can say. So with that, actually,